The summer sun might be blazing, but if you're looking at empty garden beds where your tomatoes and zucchini once reigned supreme, you're missing out on one of the easiest, most delicious harvests of the entire year. Most gardeners pack it in once August rolls around, convinced the season is winding down. That's a huge mistake, a massive missed opportunity to extend your bounty right through fall and even into early winter. I'm here to tell you that August isn't the end. It's a vibrant new beginning for a whole host of incredible, quick-growing leafy greens. We're talking about a second chance at fresh, homegrown produce, even as the days get shorter and the air turns crisp. I've been growing food in my backyard for over 30 years. And I've learned that the secret to a truly productive garden isn't just about what you plant in spring, but what you plant now. Today, I'm going to show you 5 specific, delicious leafy greens you can sow directly into your garden beds this month, guaranteeing you a bountiful, fresh harvest long after your neighbors have put their tools away. First things first, before a single seed hits the soil, let's talk about your beds. Your summer crops, especially those heavy feeders like corn and squash, have likely depleted a lot of the nutrients. You don't need to do a full overhaul, but a quick refresh makes all the difference. I always recommend adding a 1 to 2 inch layer of good quality compost over the entire bed. Just spread it out, work it in lightly with a hand trowel or a broad fork if your soil is compacted, and you're good to go. This isn't just about adding nutrients, it improves soil structure, which is vital for quick germination and healthy root development, especially for these fast-growing greens. Remember, these plants are on a tight schedule, so giving them the best start possible is crucial. Now, let's dive into the stars of our fall garden show. The first green on our list, and arguably the fastest gratification you'll get, is arugula. I'm talking about varieties like Speedy or Rocket. If you love a peppery kick in your salads, this is your plant. Arugula thrives in cooler weather, and the slight chill of late summer and early fall actually mellows its sharp flavor, making it even more delicious. It's incredibly quick to mature, often ready for harvest in as little as 21 to 30 days from seeding. That means you could be enjoying your first peppery leaves before the end of September. To plant arugula, create a shallow furrow about 1/4 inch deep. Sprinkle the seeds thinly, aiming for about 1 inch apart. Cover lightly with soil, pat it down gently, and water thoroughly. The key here is consistent moisture until germination. Once they sprout, thin them to about 4 to 6 inches apart to give them room to develop. Don't toss those thinnings, by the way, they're perfect for your first microgreen style salad. Here's an insider tip: I sow a small patch of arugula every 2 weeks from early August through mid-September. This succession planting ensures a continuous harvest, rather than one big flush followed by nothing. You'll be amazed at how much you can get from a small space. Next up, a classic for a reason: spinach. But not just any spinach. For fall planting, I lean towards cold-hardy varieties like Thai or Bloomsdale Longstanding. These varieties are bred to withstand cooler temperatures and even light frosts, which ironically makes their leaves sweeter and more tender. Spinach is a powerhouse of nutrition, and homegrown spinach tastes absolutely nothing like the stuff from the grocery store. It's richer, more vibrant, and has a satisfying texture. Plant spinach seeds about 1/2 inch deep and 2 to 4 inches apart. Make sure your soil is well draining but retains moisture, as spinach doesn't like to dry out. Germination can take a little longer than arugula, sometimes up to 10 to 14 days, so be patient. Once established, spinach is incredibly low maintenance. It typically matures in 35 to 45 days. My secret for extending the spinach harvest well into winter, even in colder zones, is to use a simple floating row cover or a mini hoop house. Just drape the row cover over the plants, securing the edges. This creates a microclimate that can keep your spinach producing even when there's snow on the ground. I've harvested fresh spinach for Thanksgiving dinner many times using this simple technique. Our third contender is a lesser-known gem that absolutely shines in the fall garden: mâche. also known as corn salad or lamb's lettuce. If you've never grown mâche, you are in for a treat. The variety I recommend is gross grain. It has an incredibly delicate, nutty flavor and a tender, almost buttery texture that is simply divine in salads. What makes mâche truly special for fall planting is its unbelievable cold hardiness. It laughs at frost and can even overwinter under a blanket of snow, only to perk up and offer fresh leaves again in early spring. It's one of the most reliable greens for extending your harvest into the deepest parts of winter. Mâche seeds are tiny, so plant them shallowly, about a quarter-inch deep, and aim for 2 to 4 inches apart. They can be a bit finicky to germinate, often preferring cooler soil temperatures, which makes August planting perfect. The trick is consistent moisture. Don't let the seedbed dry out even for an hour. Mâche takes a bit longer to mature than arugula or spinach, usually 50 to 70 days. But the wait is absolutely worth it for that unique flavor and incredible cold tolerance. Once it gets going, it forms beautiful rosettes of leaves. You can harvest the outer leaves as needed, or cut the whole plant for a larger serving. Moving on to our fourth choice, a beautiful and flavorful addition to any fall garden. Radicchio. While often mistaken for a type of lettuce, radicchio is actually a leaf chicory. And it brings a wonderful bittersweet complexity to salads. Varieties like Pala Rosa or Indigo are excellent choices for fall. The cool temperatures of autumn are essential for radicchio to develop its characteristic vibrant red color and firm, compact heads. If you try to grow this in hot weather, it tends to bolt and become excessively bitter. Sow radicchio seeds about a quarter to a half-inch deep, spacing them 6 to 8 inches apart. Radicchio needs a little more room than the other greens we've discussed, as it forms a more substantial head. It's a slower grower, maturing in 60 to 90 days, but the payoff is a stunning, flavorful addition to your fall and early winter kitchen. The colder it gets, the more intense and beautiful the color becomes, and the bitterness mellows into a delightful tang. I love to grill radicchio lightly or add it to warm salads. It's a gourmet touch you can easily grow yourself. Finally, let's talk about a garden staple that's perfect for a quick fall harvest. Loose leaf. Forget the bland iceberg, we're talking about vibrant, tender, cut-and-come-again varieties like black-seeded Simpson or red salad bull. These are incredibly reliable, grow quickly, and offer a continuous supply of fresh greens. They don't form tight heads, making them ideal for harvesting individual leaves as you need them. Plant loose-leaf lettuce seeds very shallowly, about 1/8 to a quarter-inch deep. They actually need light to germinate, so don't bury them too deeply. Sprinkle them about 1 inch apart, then lightly cover with a dusting of soil or vermiculite, and gently pat down. Water carefully to avoid washing away the tiny seeds. Once they've germinated and grown a few true leaves, thin them to about 6 to 8 inches apart. Looseleaf lettuce is ready for harvest in 30 to 45 days. The beauty of these varieties is that you can snip the outer leaves, and the plant will continue to produce new ones from the center, giving you multiple harvests from a single plant. For early August planting, choose varieties that are described as heat-tolerant to ensure good germination before the real cool down. As August progresses and temperatures drop, you can switch to more cold-hardy types. Now, let's talk about some common mistakes I've seen gardeners make when trying to get a fall crop, and how to avoid them. The first big mistake is not amending your soil. As I mentioned, those summer crops are hungry. If you just pull out the spent plants and throw new seeds in, you're asking for trouble. The soil will be depleted, compacted, and your new seedlings will struggle. Instead, take those 15 minutes to add a layer of compost. It's a small effort for a huge return. Think of it as resetting the table for your next meal. The second common error is planting seeds at the wrong. This is especially critical for these smaller, faster-growing greens. Plant them too deep, and they might not have enough energy to push through the soil. Plant them too shallow, and they can dry out or get washed away. Always read the seed packet instructions. They're there for a reason. Arugula and mâche are shallow, lettuce almost on the surface, spinach a bit deeper. Precision here pays off big time. Mistake number 3. Inconsistent watering during germination. This is probably the most frequent reason for poor germination rates. Tiny seeds need constant moisture to break dormancy and sprout. If the soil dries out even once during this critical period, the embryo inside the seed can die. My method? I water the bed thoroughly, so the seeds. Then cover the area with a thin layer of straw or a piece of burlap until I see germination. This helps retain moisture. Once they sprout, I remove the cover and keep watering daily. Sometimes twice a day if it's still warm and sunny, until they're established. Finally, don't make the mistake of ignoring pests. Just because summer is winding down doesn't mean the garden is pest-free. Slugs and snails love tender young greens, especially in the cooler, moister conditions of fall. Aphids can still be a problem, and leaf miners can quickly ruin a spinach or arugula crop. My approach is always early detection. Check your plants daily. If you see slugs, hand-pick them or use organic slug baits. For aphids, a strong spray of water can dislodge them, or a diluted neem oil solution works wonders. For leaf miners, floating row covers are your best friend, creating a physical barrier. Don't wait until the problem is severe. A little vigilance goes a long way. Now, let's talk about timing, because August means very different things depending on where you garden. I'm going to break this down by USDA hardiness zones, which is a great way to understand your local climate. If you're in zones 3 to 5, like much of the northern US and parts of Canada, your window for fall planting is tighter, but still very much open. You'll want to get these seeds in the ground in early to mid-August, no later than the 3rd week. Focus on the fastest growers, arugula and loose-leaf lettuce. Spinach and mâche can work. But you'll definitely need to deploy those row covers or mini hoop houses immediately after planting to give them a fighting chance against early frosts. Expect your harvest to run until late October or early November, depending on how quickly winter sets in. Every day counts here, so don't delay. For those of you in zones 6 to 7, which covers a vast swath of the US, you have a bit more flexibility. Mid-August is prime time for sowing all 5 of these greens. You can even get 2 successions of arugula and loose-leaf lettuce, planting one batch in mid-August and another in early September. Spinach and mâche will absolutely thrive in your climate, and you can expect a prolonged harvest well into December. Especially with the help of some simple season extension. Radicchio will also do very well, developing those beautiful, firm heads. And if you're lucky enough to garden in zones 8 to 10, stretching across the southern US and coastal regions, your fall planting window extends from late August right through September, and even into early October for some crops. You can enjoy an incredibly extended harvest, often well into winter and even early spring. All 5 of these greens will flourish. And you might even be able to get 2 or 3 rounds of radicchio or spinach. You'll likely be harvesting fresh greens when the rest of the country is covered in snow. Your main challenge might be ensuring the soil cools down enough for some of these cool season crops to germinate properly. If you're planting in late August, let's talk about that insider technique I mentioned earlier. The one that really separates the casual gardener from the serious fall producer. Season extension with row covers and mini hoop. This isn't just for commercial growers, it's incredibly easy to implement in a home garden, even for a single raised bed. A floating row cover is simply a lightweight, breathable fabric that you drape directly over your plants. It allows light and water through but traps a few degrees of warmth underneath, protecting your plants from light frosts and also from pests like cabbage moths and leaf miners. You can secure the edges with rocks or soil. For even more protection, especially in colder zones, consider a mini hoop house. You can make one simply by bending PVC pipes into hoops and sticking the ends into rebar stakes pounded into the ground along the sides of your raised bed. Then, drape clear plastic sheeting or a heavier row cover fabric over the hoops. This creates a miniature greenhouse effect, significantly raising the temperature inside and protecting your plants from hard freezes. I've used these simple structures to harvest greens like spinach and mâche right through January and February, even when temperatures outside were in the teens. It's a game changer for extending your harvest by weeks, sometimes even months. The investment in a few pieces of PVC and some plastic is minimal, but the reward of fresh, homegrown greens in the dead of winter is priceless. Just remember to vent your hoop house on warm, sunny days to prevent overheating. So, there you have it. 5 incredibly delicious, fast-growing leafy greens: arugula, spinach, mâche, radicchio, and loose-leaf lettuce, that you can sow directly in August for a bountiful fall harvest. Don't let those garden beds sit empty, collecting weeds. This is your chance to keep the fresh produce coming, long after the summer rush. It's a simple shift in mindset that can transform your gardening year. Get out there, amend that soil, grab those seeds, and get planting. You'll be amazed at how much fresh food you can pull from your garden in the cooler months. It's truly one of the most satisfying times to be a gardener. If you found this guide helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to share more gardening tips with you. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of backyard homesteaders. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What USDA zone are you in? And what's your favorite leafy green to plant for a fall harvest? Share your wisdom. Next time, we're going to dive into another fantastic way to extend your garden's bounty: how to successfully overwinter root crops directly in the ground, so you can harvest fresh carrots and parsnips even in the snow. You won't want to miss it. Happy gardening, and I'll see you